basis? Like just somebody on the street?
Just was in traffic in DC, like literally in traffic, and they walked up to his car. They eyeballed them because that's what you can do now. You can eyeball people, and decided that by looking at him, he was an illegal alien. So they went and pulled him out of his car, and he was on the sidewalk. Well, they had him all pinned down. It wasn't nice. About 12 of them were on top of him, and he is literally crying for his life. He's like, I'm not a criminal. I work here. Just let me go home to my family. It was heart wrenching though. I was like, wow. And people like walking by, they look helpless, but yet still, nobody reached out to make sure that he was not gonna die on that sidewalk with 12 people on his back. So I think we're getting immune to the violence. We're getting immune to the destructive behavior and the cops and everything. We're becoming immune to it. Don't you feel like now when we see cops beat the shit out of people, it's like a part of being of normality.
It's not we into it, just we not willing to take that. Like, as much as I may feel for it, I'm not gonna jump out there. If they doing that to you, they definitely gonna do it to me. So, I mean, that's how it is.
Jeff, I think they're banking on that. This is, it's human nature. I agree. But I think that's part of their master plan. They were banking on just the fatigue of it all, and nobody wanted to get involved. They're going to jail. We just walk by it now. It's like I ain't get involved in that. I'm not. I don't want to be involved because I don't want to put myself. And I'm exactly that person right now too. Of course. I.
Hey Lisa, I just dropped an Instagram reel in the chat. This is what's going on in LA, in Linwood. I know you're driving, so you can't see it, but I want you guys to watch it and listen. Listen to what these men are saying to people as they try to arrest them. I don't want to say any more than that. I want you guys to go out and listen to this. And I'm boots on the ground every morning, as you know, doing what I don't want to say what I'm doing. Anyway, just listen to this. So if you think this might be performative, being down out here, I honestly don't think it is. I really think they're gunning for everybody. Anyway, that's it. Just listen to this Instagram. It's so disturbing.
But when I say performative, like he's doing this in the fashion by which the outcome I don't think is performative, L, but the manner by which this is being done, deploying troops, ICE, and having people come and join as independent contractors, more like bounty hunters, all this kind of stuff. It's just it's extra, it's extra, and I think he's doing it to be performative to show the MAGA people how purportedly strong he is and how he's a leader and damn near on the level on the edge of being a dictator. I think he is a dictator. People are like this is like a dictator. No, it is dictation. What are we talking about right now? This is a why. This is someplace I don't even recognize. L. I mean, never. This country. I don't recognize it anymore. I don't recognize anything about this country.
And some of the worst case scenarios we've been laying out for months, they keep getting worse. The worst scenarios are not the worst scenarios anymore. They're all the way there. I think we're all the way there. I mean, we're beyond authoritarianism right now. We're like really closer to fascism. And I looked up what the difference was, and it said that one of the defining differences is when the military is used. Then it starts to really get close to all-out fascism. I mean, if he ends up putting troops in every city, it's over. Game over. I mean, I don't know what's left. I mean, you want to live in a city where there's, military vehicles and
Our governor not going. He already kind of, he's a Republican, but he ain't going.
sense culturally. Like, like Tim Walz is my governor. He would never go for it. But if he says no, get them the fuck out of here, does he have power to do that? I mean, what does it come down to? How's it
I mean, technically, he's supposed to be able to, because if every state has their own like state patrol. I mean, not state patrol, but like I forget. Patty probably know what I'm talking about, but like army, whatever. And they're supposed to have their own jurisdiction, from how I understand it. Just like with any law enforcement, the FBI can't just run up on an APD case and say, "All right, unless it like." Uh, I guess has federal components or it breaks federal law. So unless people are like down here breaking massive federal laws, I don't see how they're gonna do it. Now, will he do it anyway? Probably, but I definitely don't think our governor is gonna go for it.
Well, I mean, I'm in Minneapolis where George Floyd was, and you know what happened here. I mean, Tim Walz did not want the National Guard here, and he's done them anyway. So, but what I read was that all it takes is for Trump to declare that we're in a national emergency, and then he can jump over those rules or those laws.
I think so. When you are, but so if that's the case, I think that is right. But I just don't know. I mean, he may, but declaring a national emergency, that's a lot.
Well, that's how you call off election. And I think that's the plan. Morning, Dr. AG.
Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday.
Hey, loser. Hey, Jimmy.
What up, y'all? What up? What the hell I miss on this app?
Well, I was just looking at the New York Times, and they have a front page article today that is entitled How Trump Used 10 Emergency Declarations to Justify Hundreds of Actions. So it says in his 7 months back in office, President Trump has declared 9 national emergencies, plus crime emergency in Washington. And those emergency declarations have been used to justify hundreds of actions, including immigration measures, sweeping tariffs, energy deregulations that would typically require congressional approval or lengthy regulatory review. So then there's a chart that shows every quote emergency declaration and the actions that flowed from each. And there's a whole chart here. I'm going to go ahead and can you mod me for a second, and I can just gift it up to the top of the room.
Here's what Trump does. I don't know if you can. Are y'all talking?
Why you didn't ask for sources from Kate's?
Hey, Debbie, yeah, everybody's talking. You can't hear us? We here.
Yeah, I was just asking if you wanted the link for that because it shows every emergency declaration and then what the actions have been that have followed it. There's a whole chart of it. If you want me to give the room with the article, I can do that. So,
Have y'all figured out how to slow Trump's bitch ass down yet?
The what?
Have y'all figured out how to slow Trump's bitch ass down yet?
No. The CHF is going to do that, Gemini. Oh my God, is that Gemini? They ain't going to be long. I just heard your voice, Gemini. I'm like driving. I was like, wait a minute, is that Gemini? What's up, Gemini?
What's good, y'all? Been working off the app. Getting my grind on.
I've been missing you, so I'm glad to hear your voice.
It's good to hear y'all. I'm just stopping by the show face. I ain't gonna stay long, but I want to make sure I came through and said what's up to everybody.
That's nice of you to drop by. Grace us with your presence.
See what kind of good shit I done missed out on, because I know y'all been turned up in here on some good.
Oh, you missed out on a lot, bruh. You have to come. You have to come by. You know what's going on out there, so you know what's going on in here.
Yeah, I'm more tuned in to what's going on outside. I touched grass for about a month. It's been good. Been moving around.
Can I stream Aaron Parnas's morning report on the uptick now that's going on with military presence? Yes or no? Lisa? Culturally, anybody?
Go ahead.
Okay, that's what I was asking. All right, here you go.
We have major news right now. We're about to see a major uptick in National Guard presence in 19 states across the country. More than 1,700 members of the National Guard are set to deploy mid-August through mid-November for a 3-month period. Here's what we know right now. The 19 states obtained by Fox News include Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wyoming, and Texas is projected to have the largest National Guard presence in the state. Remember, this does not include what Donald Trump expects to do in Chicago and in New York, which may include the National Guard as well. So this is separate and apart. This is for immigration enforcement, for crime-related issues in those states. Many of those states are red and Republican states. We now have more than 2,000 members of the military in Washington, D.C., about to have 1,700 more deployed in 19 states across the country. And get ready, Chicago and New York, because you're next. So spread the word.
Y'all know this is a dry run for martial law, right?
What's dry about it?
Run, otherwise, keep this clown in office. That's all this is. To see how you're going to react. That's what COVID did. They wanted to see how you reacted when they said you can't go anywhere, you can't do this, you can't do that. And now they're putting martial presence. You have to understand the United States military is the most lethal force the world has ever seen. They are not designed to wound. They're not designed to police. They're not designed to give a fuck. They are designed to eliminate the threat, the end. And you put something like that and you unleash that on civilians. That's called martial law.
Yeah, but they're also not designed to do that to the civilians too. So I think there's a point at which the soldier or whatever has to make a decision, and I mean that's yet to be seen. But I don't know that the United States Army is not Trump's Gestapo, and I think that there's enough. I would hope that there's enough people with integrity and just that understand how American law works that they can't be sicked on the people of this country. That's what I think.
And that's the key word you said, I hope. See, a soldier is just that. A soldier does follow orders. And when you replace generals who stood in Trump's way like he did, and when he fired them, you replaced them with his puppets like he did, those soldiers, all those individuals, there was a reason why there was an influx of people who joined the armed forces once he got into office, like minds. So with that being said, a soldier is just that. They're not a robot. And yes, some of them are may question and things of that, but the vast majority of them does not believe they will because they swore an oath to the country. They swore an oath to the president's office. So I don't think it's going to be I don't think you're going to see the valor in what you speak of.
We got some soldiers in here. You can ask them.
Oh, absolutely. I
work with a lot of them too.
Just is right. It's not going to happen that way. It's not legal. It's not legal, not just here. It's international law against it as well. Right? Like, it's not going to happen.
If that were the case, they wouldn't be, if it's international, they wouldn't be bombing Ukraine and they wouldn't be bombing Palestinian civilian targets like they do, or taking them out like they do if it was international.
They can do that under the guise of a military attack on military with civilian casualties. That's a lot different than direct confrontation.
But that's not the U.S. military. That the U.S. military is just funding that. They're not doing that.
No, the point that I'm trying to make is, he said under the guise, and all it takes is somebody's word. Hey, they're doing this, and I saw it, and I can prove it. And you sick the military on them, which is what they did, but they still bomb civilian targets. All it takes is for Trump to say, hey, this place over here is one of these states, one of those cities, one of those counties. They're forming a coup against the United States or whatever lie he may construct. That's all it takes. Again, it's just somebody's word in leadership. Hey, this is not a hospital. This is a training camp filled with children. Come on now.
Jerry, do you just question, do you think that in Los Angeles that when they deployed the National Guard, they used any form of force or weapons against the community here? Yeah or no?
Well, I wasn't there, so I can't.
I'm here. That's what I'm asking.
You are. I said I wasn't. That's what I'm saying. I can't speak.
They did. They were a presence. Any physical contact came from police, right? They were a presence. They stood there. They held their weapons, which weren't even loaded, right? I don't know if you know that. They're not even allowed to have loaded weapons here. They stood there, and they were a force as far as visually, but that's it. That's all.
Trump or Hexas said yesterday that they will be armed, and he said with side pistols, I don't know, pistols to defend themselves. So you can't really defend yourself with it without some bullets.
That's a fact.
I saw that too. They said moving forward.
Yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking forward into arming the National Guard. Now, don't get me wrong. I have nothing but the utmost respect for the military. My grandfather, my father, MIA, Korea. I have nothing but respect. I come from a long line of military individuals. But I do know that they are not designed to police. They are designed to kill and eliminate the threat.
Yeah, but I agree with that part. I just don't know, especially from after with 2020 and all the protests that happened. The National Guard was here then, but they didn't even move. They won't approach you and I don't know if it's a law that prohibits them from doing it, but it's just their own. They just are there. They don't really do nothing to nobody. So I don't know what all the laws around it, but I know my dad is was in the army, and a lot of people I know, and they've said my dad's no longer in it, but he said if that would have been his orders, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I get it. And there's a lot of people that will have that type of valor. But what I'm saying is, and with all due respect to the ladies in here, you don't put on a condom unless you are going to fuck. There is a reason. This is what you call a dry run. There is a reason why you are deploying slowly but surely, just to see people's reaction. And sooner or later, it is going an order is going to come out that's going to go against what we are used to. That's all I'm saying. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times in my life. I could be wrong again, so I don't know.
I hope you're wrong. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying about the rollout and them trying to see, but when people start saying, again, I'm not I'm not a veteran or whatever, so when Patty get back in here, we can ask her, but I think they have to be agree to it. I don't know if they can just be go shoot civilians and they gotta go do it. I don't know though. Oh yeah, she back, Patty.
Is Patty in the room?
appreciate that. Not saying that. April, what you think?
I would say that any time that you have an armed military in the streets against your citizens, which people who are illegally here, they're not citizens, but they here, and people they have caught up Americans with these supposed ICE people, which I don't. If you're gonna come grab me off the street and I don't know who you are, I'm gonna have a problem. But if you arm the military and put them on the streets, right, guard, whatever, there's a likelihood, let me just put it that way, of something happening that was unintended, right? At any point when you have somebody armed, shit can go wrong and it can go south. So that would be the point that I would be worried about when he would start the martial law business.
So y'all think it's gonna be some Tenement Square type shit?
I don't know, Jeff, honestly, because every city's different. And of course, people on social media in Chicago saying we're not DC. You know, you come here, blah blah. Uh, there's a whole lot of people out here in a whole lot of different situations already thinking about what they're going to do. Now, will they do it? I don't know. But all I know is when you add more guns into a situation with more variables and people who aren't particularly stable, and you have racist ass people in the military, they exist. They're in there.
Oh,
To me, it's just a mix, right? It's a volatile mix that may not turn out right. It may go very badly in some states.
I have no doubt that it's not gonna go well. I just think that when I think of like the military turning against the public, that's what I think of as Tenement Square.
Oh,
and I just don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think that our military would like stand on post and shoot our civilians.
I don't think so.
Hopefully not. But you know, I do think some shit could go down. Absolutely.
You remember when he held that Bible? Just a moment. When he held that Bible upside down, he had asked the generals, people with him, if they could
shoot
into the crowd
them,
and shit like that.
And they did it with
And they could do it with if they did it even with rubber bullets. Okay,
Mhm.
you don't know when somebody goes down what they've been hit with, right?
Yeah.
It's like this has the potential to go very, very wrong.
Think about it. One thing we learned from the event, one thing we learned from science fiction, the Avengers, when Vision said it, strength begets conflict. Your military is your strength. It's already a challenge. Strength begets conflict. Conflict begets death. It's only a matter of time before something goes wrong. And Miss April just said it. You know, they told them, hey, don't come here with that. We're not DC. That's already an open challenge. So you got to be careful with these type of things because it doesn't take nothing but one instance in time to set something tragic off.
Jerry and April, I hear what y'all saying, and it's valid, right? Trump is 100% stress testing the system. He's 100% seeing how close to a dictatorship he can come to under our laws by tweaking and doing all kind of shady fuck shit like he likes to do. Like there's 100% accuracy in saying that. But I also think that the checks and balances, although they're working pretty fucking slow, are going to thwart anything that he's trying to do in that nature. Like there's literally the UCMJ says that we only have to, we being soldiers, I'm not one now, but I used to be, right? We only have to follow lawful orders. It's our duty not to follow a lawful order. Same for the Secretary of Defense, right? So when he starts going and trying to implement things that are completely against the Constitution, they legally are supposed to abide to the Constitution and say that's not a lawful order. We don't have to comply. Even though you have the authority to issue the orders, it has to be lawfully compliant with the Constitution. If it's not, we don't move. And if he's telling them to harm civilians, shoot civilians, so on and so forth, that goes against the Constitution, bro.
So I have a quick comment.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a comment. Okay, so yeah, we know how it's supposed to be, but we have also seen how the people who Trump has appointed are not respectful of how it's supposed to be. And in the situation with the military in the streets, confronting the citizens, all it takes is one person.
All it takes is one rogue person who accidentally shoots into the crowd. Like, it doesn't have to be a battalion. It doesn't have to be. I already turned right. Thank you. It doesn't have to be. Oh, sorry, she's getting on my nerves. It doesn't have to be a whole unit that violates. It only takes one person for this to go very wrong.
My issue is this: court. Trump has an issue. If he goes and breaks the law and continues to break it while the lawyers sort it out in court, but he's doing what he wants to. Now, if there was a situation where he was saying, I want to do this, let's take it to court, stress test it against the law before I do it, that's a different story. This is one of the, how can I say it? This is one of the most overt expressions of, I'm going to wipe my left butt cheek with the Constitution and my right butt cheek with the Bill of Rights, and then you can go complain about it in court. And what we're going to do is we're going to legislate it. We're going to challenge it in court and string it out as long as we possibly can while we do what we want to do to the American citizens. And this is the problem that I find.
I agree, but I'm gonna refer to my brother Gemini. He said he was in the military, so I'd show you deference because I don't know. My vision kept me out of the military. But with that being said, yes, you said there are laws that says that we cannot and we do not. But again, he's replacing individuals who are like-minded, generals, admirals, other individuals in leadership that are saying, go for it. And they're not abiding. Like my man said, they're testing the limits before even saying, hey, should we or could we? They just do. And it doesn't take but one moment in time, like I said, to start something out. But I do hope that our military would question before they did something like that. I just don't know.
I see what you're saying, Jerry, and there's no pushback. He's definitely doing a lot of fuck shit and then just seeing how the cookie crumbles afterwards because he knows the system is rigged in his favor and he's rigging it even further in his very favor with the gerrymandering and everything else, right? I see what the fuck he's doing. Like, everybody sees what the fuck he's doing. I just don't believe that there's enough people in place that will go for it. I think there's still a line of resistance there that's going to keep him checked to a certain level. Like, he's getting his way in a lot of different formats. Like, I see it. But I just don't think he can completely become the dictator that he yearns to be. Like, I just don't think he can. I think he's too fucking stupid.
Would that cause a civil war then? Because there are some people in the military that are going to follow him blindly.
Now that's actually what I don't know about a civil, like, all-out war. Well, I don't know shit. I don't know how that shit. I mean, I wasn't there when that started, so it could have been like, just like this. But I do think you seeing people like even the like mildly racist. I think that some of them are coming to a point where they're like, all right, like it's gonna be, limits are about to be pushed. And even like what you see, the reason why I think that that's more likely is because like the shit with Elon Musk. What I can tell you is when two people with like that are very headstrong, that are powerful, both think they know it all, both got money, they ain't gonna get into it just one time and it's dead. It's not done until they have the blowout, and the blowout hasn't happened yet. So what's happening now is these like minor fallouts, and then we get back cool, and then we fall out. Yeah, I mean, y'all know, we know how that goes in our personal lives. That never is gonna come to a head. So that is where I think there's gonna be a major split or something, dynamic is gonna happen versus because even this stuff with that's kind of happened before. They did it in Chicago. They've had stop and frisk. I think that I hope that our the people that will feel it the most, who will be black and brown people, are equipped to handle it and to hold their shit and until it blows over. What I don't think is these white people that disagree with each other and want to have their way. I think they're gonna throw fits and it's gonna be bad. I do think that.
The other thing we have to think about as well, or let me start over. The other thing I think about is the percentage. We know the percentage of the, oh my God, she's annoying. Oh, shut up, lady. The other thing I think about is that we know the police have been infiltrated by these white nationalists, right? We also know that there is a statistically significant number of them who are in the military as well. And that's the thing that concerns me, because given the right motivation and even any semblance of protection, there's no telling like how those people will respond in citizen confrontations, especially when those citizens are already designated as dangerous, and those citizens that are designated dangerous are also black. So that is something that concerns me. And I get it about the UCMJ, I get it. But we have seen instances where soldiers, like the guy who Donald Trump pardoned, the one that was in Leavenworth for killing those civilians, I think it was Iraqi civilians. I think maybe it was in Afghanistan. I can't remember. And he was convicted, and his platoon or the members of his unit testified against him that he had violated all the rules, and he got a pardon, right? So I think we are existing in a system right now where people are not being held accountable for their violation of the rules. And when people have that level of security and their violative behavior, it just makes for unsafe conditions. That's all.
Well, I also think this is what's keeping people off the streets. I mean, we're in kind of a choke here because the public needs to be out on the streets fighting against this or protesting against this, except that if we were to do that, then we walk right into the trap of them saying, see, we have an emergency, and violence then breaks out, and then it gives him a way to militarize. That's to me, that's the biggest problem.
The one thing I keep hearing said is martial law. Like, martial law is not going to happen. That's out. There's too many legal barriers. But what if I were him and playing devil's advocate? I would use the Insurrection Act. That's a lot more applicable and a lot easier to get enforced, and that will allow you to use the military the way you want that, the way he would like to use the military. I think that's a realistic possibility.
Meanwhile, have you all seen how his hand and wrist are all bandaged? Apparently his hands and wrists are
Those hands and wrists are bandaged.
Bumps. They're
Really?
all, bruised and bandaged, and they're saying it's because of this vein issue that he has. I was just reading up about it. Insufficient. Sorry, go ahead.
What did they say? Vein thrombosis is what I heard.
Right.
But I'm just trying to figure out, why are they bandaged? You guys are not. There shouldn't be any reason if you have thrombosis in your hands. Are they wrapped with ACE wrap? Because I'm trying to.
Here's the report.
Where have we seen his hands bandaged? When did that happen? That's what I'm trying to. He's had the makeup on them.
I'm actually looking at it right now, and you can see.
Maybe compression. It's probably compression.
Yeah.
But they don't usually do that, you guys, for thrombosis in your
Lisa, I don't know that. I just heard that. I that's not factually backed. I just heard it.
The only reason I would think of a bandage is them having an infusion, and then when they take the needle out, they apply pressure. But I don't see him leaving it on so the press can see it. I'm not saying anybody's lying. I'm gonna go look myself and see if I can
Yeah,
see it.
Parnas is reporting it, and you can see a picture, an actual picture of it, if you want to hear what he has to say.
Do you have a link?
Yeah,
Or
I got it.
Put in your PTR.
Not your PTR. Oh, the picture of his veins in your PTR.
I can go into the reel and see if I can grab a screenshot of it if you want me to do that.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think he's been getting IV medication because his hands have been bruised and have been using makeup over them, and he has venous insufficiency, whatever. No one has said thrombosis. That's a whole other situation, right? That's a whole other thing. You can't just throw that in there and call it that.
I'm not making any sort of diagnosis.
No. I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm just listening to Aaron's report about it, and in the report you can see it if you want to hear what he has to say. I don't think he would just come out and say something like that.
Oh, Chad, I'm gonna bring you up, Chad. I haven't been. Yeah, I need to read that. I need to see.
You want me to go ahead and play
Yes.
it?
Elle, can you do the picture first?
I'm gonna have to. I can try. I'm gonna have to go through. I'm gonna have to go through the whole reel to find it. But yeah, I can do that.
Trump isn't saying that he's sick, but the man is talking about how to get into heaven. I have never heard Trump ever say anything about heaven, getting into heaven, being in the church house. Never. So it just seems really odd to me. There's some things that he's saying that could be used, that he could be saying, I'm not doing very good, or they say I'm not doing very good. He said that at one point, and I don't know if he was referring to a situation that he started like he does, or he himself. I can't see him. Yeah, and Chat, you're right. His mouth to me, his mouth, me hearing him say, they say I'm not doing too good. That's a thing that you say when you have diagnosis that's not really great at his age. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh no! I think he about to go to the upper room.
Girl, I think I don't know about no upper room. You might
Maybe the lower room.
It may be a basement, but
be down there in the hot place.
Yeah, he folding up that tent. He done took the pictures out of there.
I don't know about the devil wanting, because he could probably run hell bad.
I think he's just milking this shit until he dies, and then so they said he's become like extremely rich since becoming president, like to the tune of like 5 billion, and his kids. So I think he's gonna enrich his family. He probably know what's going on with him, but he don't care. He just gonna ride this shit out, and then whatever happens, none of these people care. They just want to luxuriate themselves while they're here. They could give a fuck what happens when they go.
Well, Alex Jones is saying that he's sick, so
Yeah,
That's funny.
Alex Jones is sick as well.
Yes. Alex Jones I can't stand him. To me, he's worse than a fucking, well.
He's funny though.
My heart still, even though there's a lot that I don't like, there's a part of me that will always have empathy for Melania because she had to lay up under that dude.
She didn't have to do a damn thing.
She didn't
Don't, DA, don't start.
April.
Sorry for Melania.
April, wait. Let me finish the statement so you understand where I'm coming from. Let me finish the statement. She had to lay up under him to have a child from him. That's all I'm saying.
This woman wore a coat.
No. What I'm saying, she didn't have to do that.
Separated from their mamas, and a coat that said, I don't care to you. That bitch can die and rot in hell with him.
And if I was the next president, I would leave the current immigration rules and process.
And send her back home.
Out of here.
I agree with you.
Take your Negro ass home.
Any
Back to
woman
Ukraine,
that has
dog.
to lay up under
Ain't nobody
that,
had to. There's no had to.
but
Right.
to have his children, you can't get pregnant.
Listen, GA.
GA, she chose that
She was
shit.
in it to win it, okay? That's it.
She
The
chose
pic is in
that
my
shit.
PTR. I'm gonna leave that pic in my PTR.
Hell, that's makeup, love. That's makeup.
No, that's a bandage over his hand.
Well, he might have a band-aid, but that's not like he's wrapped in a... That's not Coban. That's not any type of, like, gauze. That's makeup on top of... And you can see the lines through it. Like his wrinkles. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just looking at it myself. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, they're reporting it on ABC, they're reporting it on NBC, so they're all asking about it and talking about this venous insufficiency. What's her face? The press secretary is saying it's because he shakes hands all the time, and that's why his hand is bruised. So that was
Yeah, because that's the thing we've seen in the medical world is people shaking hands excessively and having everything like their cankles swell up. Because that's the thing. I wish I could talk to that silly whore. Miss Caroline Wyatt.
Well, I just want to get that out of my PTR, so I just put it in there so you could see it.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you so much. But when it comes to women having to do anything, unless there was force, right? She chose, that money comes at a steep cost. And it ain't no amount of money in this world or the next one or however many I visited in this lifetime or another that could induce me to do that willingly. No sir, no ma'am, no way, no how. I'd rather be poor and trying to make $1 out of 15 cents every day of my life than have to or feel like I had to or to get no.
GA, I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. Melania is a whore for hire that chose a very rich man that ended up being president. That's why she's not a first lady. She didn't intend on being a first lady. She don't want to be a first lady, right? She's just there by default because she happened to choose the wrong dude that tricked on her. I can't feel sorry for her at all. She getting paid for her services. Like, this is a deal. The PDA is not in the contract. So that's why she's not kissing him publicly. But other than that, this is a business deal, bro.
Hey, man, I agree with all of y'all. I was just saying the dude is nasty. He's disgusting. And it's sad that any woman would procreate with him. I don't have any pity for him. It's just... What's going on? I just said what I said. But I agree with you, Gemini. We can move on past it.
I'm sure she ain't doing it anymore. He couldn't handle it now. Just when you zoom in on those ankles, my God, they are huge, and that's why I say stovepipe. His ankles are stovepipe right now. Absolutely, it's. And as for what's going on with his hands, it's the IVs in his hands. It's the IVs. He's getting IV medication, and he's probably resulting in kidney or heart issues because the fluid that he's carrying around, even with the medication, is not reducing. He's still...
That's what the articles were trying to...
And Richard, I'm not being fat phobic because I'm fluffy myself. Cankles, go look at his ankles and come back and tell me what you would call his ankles. People don't have ankles like that, okay, unless they weigh 700 pounds, all right? His ankles are swollen up.
Unless he got lymphedema, and my mother got that when she had breast cancer. So you have to have usually something triggers it, or you have it like all your life. So something going on.
Yeah, and his whatever.
But he's old. He's like 80, right?
Yep, you have to understand he has access to the best medical care you could ever believe in and come up with. The way he came out of COVID, that's why he got that experimental gene therapy shit that people were getting, rich people were getting brought to. Don't quote me on gene therapy. I just know it was not approved by the FDA yet. I have to go back and look what it was, but they were getting that treatment. He got that at Walter Reed. He got all kind of shit. So
yeah, it was an infusion. It was that infusion.
If they're
What's
unable
CHF? What's
That's
that?
congestive heart failure.
Oh,
If
okay.
he's still this fluffy and puffy and nothing, them ankles is over the shoes, okay? And he's getting some kind of intravenous Lasix or some other medication, and it ain't going down.
But
It's
that's
not
also
good.
one of the ways, Gemini, that I didn't know at the time, but when I had my heart attack, my ankles were swollen. They don't typically get swollen. So I've been on water pills for like a year and a half now. Since I think it's heart related.
Child, you mentioning that, I could tell you this, right? I know with my uncle, the way that we knew he was having heart issues was the swelling in his lower legs, like the water weight in his lower legs was the indicator, and they started giving him heart medication and things of that nature. I think it's very likely that Trump is experiencing that, and he's doing exactly what he accused Biden of, right? Remember how he said Biden wasn't forthcoming with his diagnosis? I think he knows what the fuck is going on with him already right now and don't want to let us know because he's got to appear strong. So he's going to put some makeup on, band-aids, whatever, and try to cover that shit up, literally.
He needs a better makeup person because they don't blend or do anything. I need to get a close-up shot of those ankles for the people that ain't seen.
Have y'all talked about Pete?
I want to see it.
Have y'all talked about the people that Pete Hegseth fired yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Because they were mad that they told the truth about the strikes against Iran.
What do y'all think would happen if, let's just go with a worst case scenario, right? And he has CHF, or, let's say he doesn't even die, but he's not capable of performing his task anymore. Y'all think it's going to be better under Vance?
Hell no. Everybody tap on my PTR to see them that cankle up close. But no, Vance has vacationed 8 times out of 7 months or whatever the hell, or something, 7 out of 8. He is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel made him, who he bankrolled his whole Senate campaign. Vance is, yeah. I never think there's somebody gonna be worse from Trump, and then they show the hell up and show out. And the stuff that Peter Thiel, who also is, he grew up in South Africa, or was he? Because he and Elon were the same age, and I believe they both were in South Africa around the same time when they were growing up. But there's a whole lot of shit that those people want. We talked about Rock Bridge very briefly. That's some more stuff of wealthy people, wealthy donors who try to get these people elected. But yeah, that's someday maybe a room will do.
Peter Thiel's German. He's German.
Oh, is he
But,
German?
But I think that J.D. Vance is worse because J.D. Vance is ideological. Donald Trump is not ideological. He's transactional.
Yeah, absolutely.
J.D. Vance is ideological and he's smart. He has a very good understanding of of sort of the social dynamics, sociocultural politics, and he's a lawyer. So he's very conservative. I've said this before. People said they don't think that he's a natalist, but I think he's a natalist, and I think he's a nationalist as well. And so he'll be worse. He'll be worse. He's going to push for more confinement for women, the limiting of women's rights. He's going to push and advocate for that, in addition to the general restriction of civil rights. I think we do not want him to be president at all.
So Trumpy on the lifeline.
Weekend at Bernie's, Donald Trump, as much as we can.
Hello.
I'm here. Prop him up, dope him up, like how they give them football players their steroids and push them back out there on the field. Pump him up and roll him out. That's pump and roll. That's
so J.D. Vance is really that much worse?
Absolutely.
Is he MAGA? Is he part of the MAGA movement, or do they?
I think he's beyond MAGA.
Yeah, I do too. I think he is pure eugenic. That's what he's about.
Yep.
You know, he's about everything being just strictly white. You know, white nationalism. That's his.
Oh, he's a white nationalist.
Even though his wife is not.
He grew up in South Africa, and he totally running.
I thought he grew up in Ohio.
No. We're not talking about Peter
No, I'm
Thiel. We're
sorry.
talking
I
about
was
J.D. Vance.
confused with Musk, but no, but J.D. Vance is completely into natalism. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, I'm getting confused now. So y'all are talking about Peter or JD?
J.D. Vance. JD.
That's what I'm talking about. So he grew up in Ohio, right? Not
Yes.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Okay.
But
and he's a white nationalist?
Ohio and Kentucky.
I think he's a white nationalist.
Which is the heartbeat of racism. And so are you saying he's like kind of siding with white nationalists and things like that? I don't know nothing about that.
I totally believe that about that.
So I think so to me, like, the white nationalist thing is like a very specific thing. I think he's adjacent to that, but his views are clearly to limit and minimize the power of people who are not white. I would not go so far as to say that he wants the elimination of those people from the country, which I would say is the white nationalist position. So I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I could be wrong about that. But he's definitely aligned with ideas about what basic sort of white supremacist ideas, even though, and it doesn't matter that he's married to someone who's not white, because that's a part of it as well, right?
What nationality is his wife?
I'm sorry?
What nationality is his wife?
She's Indian. Because I mean, a lot of these people, they take their colonialism personal too. You know, like they colonize in other ways too. And his wife probably subscribes to a lot of his ideas about people of color, because that would not be off-brand.
Yeah, she's from
They're
a
many
caste
East
system.
Indians. I'm sorry?
No, I said she comes from a caste system society.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them, a lot of East Asian women, particularly Indian people, they are very, they have a lot of anti-black, like a lot of anti-blackness. They're very white identified. They're very much British, a lot of them. In the colonials, it's totally colonized. So.
Do you think that there's a chance that you remember all the stuff that he was saying about Donald Trump, like prior to? Do you think that he would revert to that person, or you think that was part of it too?
See, this is what I don't know, because this is where I have, and I think I mentioned this before, this is part of my conflict with him, because there's this iteration of J.D. Vance, and then there's the 2014, 2015 J.D. Vance. And I don't know, like, I don't know what the relationship between those are. And I would say, like, that's why unlike Donald Trump, who I think would have a country that didn't have people of color or black people in the country, I don't think that J.D. Vance is that person. So when he talks about, I think he could still manage to believe what he believed about Donald Trump and his autocracy, his authoritarianism, and see himself as not autocratic and not authoritarian, if that makes sense. He's he's just a natalist and a believer in racial hierarchy, which doesn't require autocracy or authoritarianism to function, if that makes sense.
And he has the weight of the evangelicals behind him on that.
But I think evangelicals is something we are familiar with that. I'm not sure. I guess I'm kind of like you. I don't know what's the real version of him, like that first version or this version.
Yeah, because as I think about, and the other thing is like he's doing a lot of talking now. He's not doing a lot of the writing and kind of intellectual work that he was doing before. So that's like another missing piece. But I could very well be convinced into believing that Donald Trump is just an instrument. And Donald Trump's extremism is an avenue for him to ingratiate himself because he's not as extreme. Right? Like, that dude was way off. But here's a version of these same ideas without the odious components that Donald Trump brings. I could be convinced that that's a strategy.
Hasn't he been kind of bringing those to other countries? Haven't we seen him, going into other countries and shaming them and kind of the way Zelensky was treated? I mean, a lot of that is coming from J.D. Vance. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's Trump's mouthpiece for now, and I don't think there is a way to know who the real J.D. Vance is. But I agree with you about him not being an instrument in the same way Trump easily is.
Yeah, and if you listen to him, like even when he goes, he's talking to the people, but he's also talking about the governments, right? It's like the things that he wants the governments to do and what he wants the people to demand, like of their government. So he's not. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like he doesn't not believe in the democratic process. He just wants it to look a certain way. He wants people to elect people who have certain beliefs so that they can organize the government and organize the state in a certain way. Whereas Donald Trump doesn't believe in democracy. He doesn't believe in any sort of institutional organ. He doesn't believe in institutions. He's really an autocrat. He believes like I am the, in George Bush's words, I am the decider. I'm the visionary. I'm the shepherd. I'm the operation. I'm all of it. And that's where they split.
It's interesting how Musk had disappeared off the scene. I mean, we never talk about Musk anymore. It's like, is it like he was done and then he was just gone? After all that mess came in?
I don't believe he's gone. I think he still supports Trump monetarily. I think he just stepped out of the light for a second.
I mean, does it matter that we don't see him? We're still feeling and experiencing the ramifications and the consequences of his presence.
Well,
So he may not be physically present, but he's present. Right? I mean,
yeah, definitely. No, he did his damage. He did it really well.
that's like I said before, it's going to take us 2-3 generations to undo this. This is not a one election fix.
Doc, I was listening to Gates. I think it was last week, and he was saying that the damage that the tariffs are going to do, and the damage that Trump is doing to our economy, is going to hit us for the next couple decades. That prices will continue to rise for that long.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we're never going back. We're never going back. Once they found out how much they could charge us, and still people ain't in the streets over food and prices and stuff, they're never going to do a reset lower. There might be a chain or two here and there. I think it was at Aldi's that wanted to lower prices and did lower prices. Costco will remain who they are probably. But these other, why would they go back?
But it's gonna. I mean, at some point, there's gonna be a crash at some point.
Oh yeah,
Because
no doubt.
the poor and the middle class, this is not sustainable, and those people are going to be so economically squeezed that there's going to have to be radical action. There's going to have to be something like the Rooseveltian New Deal. That's the only thing that's going to pull the country out out of the ravine that it's getting ready to be in. It's like when Barack got elected, he said the Republicans drove the car in the ditch, and now they're mad, or they're giving him backlash and criticizing how he's pulling it out of the ditch. But then once the car gets out of the ditch, they want to drive it again, right? And so it's going to take something super radical, because we not going to be in a ditch. We going to be crashed at the bottom of a ravine. So hard times are coming. They are coming.
watched another reel of a doctor saying that he thinks what Trump has going on is congestive heart failure. But that's his read on the swelling in his ankles and now in his hand. That makes sense to you, Lisa? Anyone? Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, Ramona, because my mom had that and it looked like that. I don't think he's going to make it to 2028, you guys. I need to go, y'all, so you guys moms need to take over.
greeting to Nazalam Malatan room there. Kulum garden dead or garden folk. You know what? Gives a batana that away Nazda Equatoria. Yes, we are so Sudanese. Looking at all that shit looked crazy. Like Bloods and Crips, that shit was like, I still remember when I first started seeing GDs and shit in the, I was a kid, I noticed the tattoos and shit.
Are you
That shit,
eating?
we had Vice Lords, you know what I'm saying?
Could you eat on mute?
Somebody on mute. Y'all gotta learn.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
gotta
don't
learn
hear your
about
throat,
voice
bro.
isolation. Voice isolation is key. Yeah, legs no goddamn well teeth. All Jay-Z brought the destruction to our
Can someone mute him, or I just gotta leave? I don't want to listen to the smacking.
Oh my bad. How you do that? Oh. Voice isolation, my nigga. How you mean, nigga?
But he's muted now. Go ahead with what you were saying. I'm sorry. Saying glasses, y'all were saying something.
I said, imagine me saying that Jay-Z brought the death and destruction to our kids because he influenced the league of drug dealers. Shit just crazy. 92 bricks, nigga.
Glasses, but you know Martin Scorsese to blame for the mafia.
Oh no, but you Lord knows how they praise white people. Oh my God, they know the way the white people do it. You know, they have suits on, and they snitch. Go figure.
Respected.
Sammy the Bull told on everybody, killed everybody. We cool with Sammy, but we mad at Gangsta though. And Gangsta told on niggas that was dead. Gangsta told on niggas that was dead. Nobody had to go to jail. Sammy sent niggas to jail. But it's cool though. But we got a problem with T.I. telling on the dead nigga. If I'm dead, my homies know. If I'm dead, nigga, and something, y'all better blame me. Blame me, whether I did it or not, nigga. Go be with your family, nigga. All right, let me do this solid for you. This last solid. Nigga, take it to the grave. Cradle to the grave. I'm gonna do this last solid for you. Get you out of trouble.
So glasses.
Hey, glasses. My beat boys will be at 16, bro. They make me want to go sell drugs and rob.
Is it a fine line between being a gangster and gang banging?
No.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's just something crazy niggas say. But I didn't argue with niggas that's gangsters and homies and all that shit about this shit. So that's like an arrogant thing. That's like an arrogant thing that a soldier, like a jarhead in the hood, is like. A jarhead will feel like they got more rank, even though they know they don't got more rank. You know what I mean? Like a jarhead feel like a nigga that's putting in work feel like he the most important part of the hood. You know what I mean? I done had this argument with a lot of different homies about who does what, and cause you know everybody think they the baddest niggas, but the jarheads is always the worst. The niggas doing that think they the baddest niggas. They the most important part to the neighborhood. But no, if you from a gang, to have a functioning hood is like it's gonna take multiple different types of people. And the reason, like I'm telling Lex, is unorganized is because they fight that function. Like it's so much more potentials to crip gangs and blood gangs. It's way more potential, but again, you got remember it's a bunch